Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
We're really excited. Brent Smith from Shinedown going to call up here and help us debut their new song, 365. Now, our relationship with them has grown. Obviously, Q101, the first station in the country to play Shinedown back in the day. We're going back 20 years at this point. But it's our whole relationship with Brian and Kenzie with Brent Smith of Shinedown, as we've interviewed him before and all that, but really hanging out and becoming friends was when the song Second Chance, we played that on the air one day, and me and Kenzie were talking about the meaning of the song, and we disagreed on what we thought it really meant.
Well, it was funny because you were like, man, now as an adult, I totally get the song. And you said something, and I go, I don't think you get it.
Yeah, and it turns out I didn't get it.
It turns out,
My
as
feeling,
an adult, I totally understand it.
no, my feeling on the song was that you should, if you break up with someone, they're saying goodbye to them, the second chance will come later. You have a second chance with that person. If you say goodbye to them now because it's not
but
time
really,
right now.
It's like sometimes goodbye leads to a new door opening. Like a door closed can be a door open was kind of more the vibe.
And here's what Brent said when we had him on the air about the song.
For Shinedown, Second Chance. When I heard that, sometimes goodbye is a second chance.
Yikes. Okay.
And I heard that one day in the car, and it hit me different for some reason. I think it's about letting someone go when it's not working out, but they will come back to you again. You have a second chance with that person later on, and so you should let them go. Don't hold on to it if it's not working out. Let them go, and you have a second chance. They'll come back.
My perspective is this song means you have to say goodbye, whether it's now you can interpret it however you want. So in a relationship, whether that's with family or your significant other or your current scenario, saying goodbye because it is allowing a new opportunity to come into your life, whether that is love. If you got rid of a toxic family member, it allows you to chase something, whatever that is. It's letting something go, even though you don't hate it or whatever, because it's creating issues in your life, allows something else positive to come into your life.
All right. So I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the lady.
Yeah.
And what she's
Oh,
saying.
come on, my dude.
That's the beautiful thing about songs. They can mean different things to you at different stages in your life. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. For me personally, the song is about that moment when I told my parents, like, listen, I got to go because I can't stay here in this town anymore. I love the town that I'm from, but I have a dream and I want to go out and try to fulfill it.
That's where our romance with Brent Smith started with Shinedown when he called up. And then they came in, Zach and Brent. This happened about over a year and a half ago now, I think, at this point.
August of 2023.
Wow.
Because remember, they were on tour, but they weren't coming to Chicago. And they rerouted their tour, which is a big deal. It's not easy to do, specifically to come here to come do the show. They wanted to come hang out with us.
And they debuted the song Symptom of Being Human, which became a monster hit of the year. Never played before on alternative rock radio, and they came here to do it with us. And then they talk about the meaning of that song because we started playing it first. We were the first ones in the country and the world to play it. And then they came here because of Brian and Kenzie, which is a really cool feeling, by the way. And then this is that moment when they describe what that song's about.
Symptom was a gift. I mean, man, we're a band that's been talking about mental health for the better part of 2 decades. I'm glad we both are that you can speak about that more openly now because it's important. Your physical health and your mental health are important together. But at the time when we wrote Symptom, we just saw all the chaos and we could see that everybody was so afraid. They were angry, they were confused, they kind of felt lost. And I know that we felt like that in a lot of ways too, but by the time we got into a room with one another, we just wanted to write something that let everybody know you're allowed to have as many human moments as you need in your lifetime. It's okay. We're all a work in progress. And what's been amazing about the song is that there's so many people that have come to us and said that it's almost a song that people will, there's this like young 15-year-old girl the other day when we were out doing those last 6 shows, and she goes, I put it on when I'm getting ready to have a panic attack, and it snaps me out of it.
Oh my gosh.
Hearing things like that and understanding that, that's the beauty of music, man. It can evolve and it can be whatever you need it to be at that time. And I think that Symptom is just a reflection of what it talks about. We're all a work in progress. Take a deep breath. Life is a journey.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I'm so happy we don't have to call you in 20 years when Brian thinks he finally figured out what it means.
Yeah, I haven't figured anything out.
I know.
Because I think I have, and then I haven't. Well, it's so cool. And so this is what we're going to do. Brent's going to call up here in about a minute, and we'll get him on the air, and he's going to debut the Shinedown 365, their new song. So Brent Smith of Shinedown with us, with Brian and Kenzie in seconds.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and so stoked to welcome our friend Brent Smith from Shinedown back onto the show, where basically every time we talk to Brent, it's usually because we just think about it. We talk about Shinedown on the air, and then we have a question about some of the lyrics of a song, and he's just always ready to pick up the phone and talk about it. Am I correct in that assessment, Brent, of our relationship?
Absolutely. I try to be on point with you all the time and bring joy to your life.
Do you ever think about blocking us?
Never. Doesn't even cross my mind. Wouldn't know how to survive without you guys and girls. And I'm being totally honest. There's no facetiousness in that statement whatsoever. No, you guys are great. How you been, man?
I've been excellent, and still basking in the glow of the lounge you did last year for us, where it was a very big kind of a mental health summit, and your performance, and it was so tremendous having you in and doing that live, and seeing the emotions and the things you talk about of your own life that related to so many of our listeners. And so thank you for that again. I know we already thanked you for it, but I got to thank you again for that, because we still get people texting in and calling in and messaging us about that performance, about that lounge.
Hey, listen, you guys and girls there at Q101, I mean, you're trailblazers yourself. I mean, these are heavy subject matters that we're talking about, and you guys have always been super, super engaged with that. You listen to your audience, and your audience means a great deal to us. And anytime that you're able to bring that awareness out to the public, it's always, I think a lot of people appreciate it. It's needed. We got to talk about our emotions. And I know sometimes people feel like, well, you just need to move on and this and that and the other. So, we live in a very interesting time, especially when we talk about social media and everybody has a platform, and, it can be noisy out there. So I appreciate all of you allowing artists to talk about these things, allowing your fan base and your audience to talk about it as well. You guys are always pushing the envelope and doing things that nobody else is doing.
Well, and we're stoked for you and to see you Saturday, August 16th, to see Shinedown Allstate Arena. And love the show being there with Bush and Morgan Wade. What can we expect from that show?
I'll be honest with you, we're still kind of putting all of that together. I think what we want to do more than anything is just really surprise the audience, really just take them on a journey. And every time we go into these production meetings and we start to really take a step back and look and say, okay, what have we done before? What do we want to do now? A lot of times, too, when we're building the productions, certain things will start to raise their hand, and then it'll guide us in the direction that we need to go. But it'll be it's going to be an eclectic night. We're so stoked to have Bush and Morgan Wade. Morgan Wade is a force. She's a true outlaw, which is amazing to have her on the tour. Gavin and myself have known each other for years. I mean, they're essentially celebrating 2 anniversaries on this tour, with one being, I think the 30 year for 16 Stone, and then also Razor Blade Suitcase. They got a brand new record coming out as well. And then we got a lot of announcements coming, in the world of Shinedown as well. So I think people should expect to see a fantastic show. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen.
I love that you say in the meeting somebody might raise their hand with a suggestion, and I imagine someone would say, we need more fire during Sound of Madness. We need more fire.
Yeah, that gets brought up. That gets brought up a lot. Like, our whole thing about the fire is just now it becomes the question of, okay, I mean, orange is a nice color and all, but can we, change it? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know. Can we make it blue? And people then say, I mean, anything's possible.
I can't wait to see the Blue Flames at the Allstate Arena August 16th. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And, of course, right now, excited to play 365, the new single from Shinedown. We're going to premiere it here in a second. And, by the way, there's a second single, Dance Kid Dance, that's at Q101.com. Just give us a kind of synopsis of this song before we play it.
Man, 365, last year, the band had we had a lot happen last year. That's kind of the tag of the song. A lot can happen in a year. But the song really is about understanding the loved ones in your life. Sometimes when you get up on any given day, life is precious and time is precious, so you don't need to waste it because it's also not promised. And we had a lot of loss last year in our families, and I think a lot of what happened and what we went through last year with our families and having to be there and be supportive for each other was the idea that these people that we loved, you know, we lost them, but we really didn't truly lost them. They're not necessarily gone. They're everywhere, and you have to celebrate their life and what they meant to you and how they influenced you and taught you and helped you become the person that you are. So a lot of 365 is about the ones that we lose, and to remember to always keep their memory alive because they're not truly gone. They're everywhere. And again, it's also about rolling the dice for your own life because a lot can happen in a year, but anything that, you know, is holding you back or you're questioning whether or not you think you're capable of having the life that you want, stop thinking like that. Just go after it. You know, time is precious. So, you know, we want people to lean in to living.
Well, let's hear it. So it's Shinedown 365 premiering here now on Q101. Brent from Shinedown, thank you so much for calling in. I always love talking to you.
It's my absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you guys for being so supportive. We love you, and we'll see you very soon.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.